In this video, we are going to learn what documents do we need to submit a TRV application, how to fill IMM 5257 form, and how and where to submit your passport once your application gets approved. All in details, stay tuned. Hello and namaste everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are talking about temporary resident visa or a visitor visa that you apply once your permit gets approved in Canada. A temporary resident visa or a visitor visa is required to re-enter in Canada. Once your PGWP gets approved and you want to travel outside Canada, you need to have a valid visitor visa to come back to Canada. So we're gonna learn how to apply that today. In this video, we are especially considering those applicants who have a valid work permit. So let's see what documents do we need before submitting a temporary resident visa inside Canada. For this application, you need to have these three documents. Number one is your approved work permit. Number two is your valid passport. And number three is your digital photo. Remember, your passport should be valid for at least the duration of your work permit, as your TRV validity will be limited to the expiry date of your passport. So if your passport is nearing expiry, renew it before applying for TRV to maximize its validity. Now let's go to our IRCC secure login portal. After logging in with your GC key credentials, we'll come to this interface. Scroll down and you will see apply to come to Canada. Click on that. Scroll down. Click on visitor visa study or work permit section. Now we will have to answer some questions to determine our eligibility. So what would you like to do in Canada? Select work. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? Select temporarily, more than 6 months. Select the country that issued your passport. Then your current country. We are doing inside Canada application, so select Canada and select if you have any family member which is a Canadian citizen or a permanent residence. If no, select no. Then enter your date of birth. Are you a USPR? Select no. What is your immigration status? Right now we are worker, so we need to select worker. Now there will be some questions with some different situations. If any of these apply to you, you need to select yes. In general, none of these applies to us, so I'm selecting no in all of them. Are you a spouse or common law person who holds a study permit? No. And there are some questions for PR related. I'm going to select no, as we don't have any PR applications going on and we don't have any written job offer, so select no on that as well. And do we have a valid employer specific work permit or being abused? No. And what is your marital status? If you are married, select married. If you are single, select single and select your province. Then it will show that we are eligible to apply for a temporary resident visa. Click continue on that. So which of these following best describes your situation? We have an open work permit, so we're gonna select we have an open work permit, and it will ask if we have done medical within last 12 months. If you have done it, select yes, otherwise no. I selected no. Then if you are living in Canada for more than 6 months and lived in any of the designated countries for more than 6 months in past years, you need to do medical. And similarly, if you are working in the following job given over here, then you need to do medical. So if none of these fit for you, select no. It will again ask if you are working in one of those following jobs, then you need to do medical. So again, if this doesn't fit for you, select no. Says, do you want to submit an application for a family member? If you are doing your family members application together, select yes, otherwise no. And are you giving access to your application to someone else? No, we're doing it by ourselves, so click no. And in the past 10 years, have you done your fingerprints and biometrics? Yes, we have done it. And for fees, click yes. A digital copy, click yes. Paying fee online, yes. Now it will ask to review our answer, so we're gonna review our answer thoroughly once again and select continue. Continue again. Then this is our document checklist where we have IMM form, we need to upload a Canadian work permit over here, a passport here, and a digital photo over here. Coming down below, these are optional documents, and we need to pay a $100 fee to submit our application. So let's download IMM 5257 form and start filling it. On this IMM 5257 form, in the very first we have a UCI number. If you see your work permit, there is a UCI number over here, and put it on your IMM 5257 form. So select I-1 service in English over here, and here visa requested is a visitor visa. We have two options, visitor visa or transit visa. Select visitor visa, then enter your full name over here, and if you have any other name, select yes, otherwise no. Enter your all details, date of birth, place of birth, and your citizenship. Scroll down and it will ask your current country or territory of residence. Since we are applying for this TRV visa from inside Canada, select Canada over here, and our status right now is worker, and enter your permit's validity, when it was issued and when it's set to expire. It's all on that work permit thing over here. It has a date of issued here and expiry date. Enter that both date over here. Then previous country or territory of residence. In past 5 years, if you have lived in any other country or territory other than your country of citizenship and your current country of residence, then you have to enter those details under here. If you haven't, select no and continue. Country or territory of applying, same as current country or territory of residence, yes, because we are doing inside Canada application and we already selected Canada over here. So click yes and continue. Enter your current marital status. If you are married, select married. If you are select single, and you don't have to fill anything over here. Come down. Have you previously been married? If yes, select yes, otherwise no. Enter your language, your mother tongue. Select what language you are comfortable in. There is English or French. Have you taken a test from a designated testing agency? Yes, as we have already taken a language test to submit our PGWP application that time. Enter your passport details here, your passport number, country of issue, enter issue date and expiry date. Come down here under national identity document. If you have any national identity document, you select yes. For Indian citizens, put Aadhaar card details, and if you don't have anything, click no and continue. You have US PR card, select no, continue. Then it asks about your current mailing address. Enter your full mailing address over here. Residential address, same as mailing address. If it's same, select yes, and you don't have to fill anything under here. Enter your Canadian cellular number, and if you have any alternative number, put it over here. Then enter your email address over here. So this is important. There's a purpose of visit over here. If you see the option, there are lots of options, but you need to select returning worker. Select returning worker and indicate how long you plan to stay. So here you have to select today's date in the from section. So you have to set today's date, and in the to section you have to enter your permit's expiry date. Once again, in the from section you're gonna put today's date, the date that you are filling this form, and in the to section you're gonna put the expiry date of your permit. In the funds available, enter a amount that you have, like 5,000, 10,000, it doesn't really matter as long as you have a job in Canada. So under the section 4, it will ask name, address and relationship to any person or institution that I will visit. So there are like few options that we can fill this section over here. First, if you have a job, you're working somewhere, put your company's name over here. If you don't have a job and you are living with any family member, put your family member's name over here, and that also doesn't apply to you. Enter your university or college name over here. Okay, so it's like either company's name or family member's name or university or college name. In this relationship to me section, if you entered company's name over here, write employer. If you wrote a family member's name, write a relation to them. If you wrote university or college name, just write university or college over here. Then enter the address over here of this company or family member or universities over here. Then scroll down, education, select yes for post-secondary education here, and enter the education that you completed in Canada. Enter the date that you started and you completed your program. Enter field of study, your university or college name, city or town, and country and province over here. Scroll down, enter your all employment history over here in past 10 years. For the job that you are currently doing, you don't have to put the end date over here, just put the start date over here. Enter your occupation or job title here, enter your company's name, their city, town, and all the details over here. If you have two jobs in the section 2, just enter the from date here and don't put the end date over here. That means you are currently doing two jobs. So same, put all the details over here and continue to fill all your employment history. If you couldn't fill all your education and all your employment history over here because there is inadequate space, we're gonna fill rest of those on a client information form and upload that. Coming down to background information over here, as these questions varies from person to person, so answer it according what applies to you. Give attention to this section 2 over here. It will ask, have you ever remained beyond the validity of your status or attended a school without authorization or worked without authorization in Canada? If no, then select no. If you have done it, then select yes and put the details over here. Also with question 2b, have you ever been refused a visa or permit or denied entry or order to leave Canada or any other country or territories? If you applied for any other countries and you got your visa refused, then you have to select yes and enter the detail over here. Once again with question 2c, have you previously applied to enter or remain in Canada? You need to select yes, as we have applied to come to Canada as a student in the beginning and then we applied for a post-graduation work permit. So you select yes over here and enter the detail under here just like this. So write 2c and answer that question why you selected yes over here. So I wrote I applied for a study permit and my application number is this and that got issued on this day. Same, I applied for a PGWP and my application number is this and the permit was issued on that day. Similarly, if you have selected yes with any other questions here, you need to give details in this box. Let's continue. Do you consent to be contacted by CIC? Select yes. And on the signature panel, enter your full name and today's date. That means you already signed this application digitally and you don't have to print it and sign it again. Scroll down. Lastly, you want to click on validate and make sure everything is filled correctly and it will say validation completed successfully. If you click on OK, a barcode will be generated on the last page over here. Make sure your barcode is generated. And if you go on the first page, it will also say official use only, validated, yes under here. So our application is validated. Now we're gonna save this form. Back to our document checklist website. Now we're going to upload all the documents over here. Make sure you have a separate folder created and you have named every file according to this website over here, so there is no confusion while uploading these documents. So I'm gonna upload all the documents one by one. IMM 5257 form, your work permit over here, your passport over here. Make sure you clearly scan your passport and you have all the TRVs issued previously scanned as well and uploaded combined over here. Your photo. So now all the documents are uploaded over here. Scroll down. The schedule 1 is for the visa made outside Canada, so that's not necessary. In this client information form, I want to include one thing. Let me show it to you. So just before, when we were filling IMM 5257 form, there was not enough space to enter all the details for employment history and the education if somebody has done like 1+1 program in Canada. So To break that down and give all the details that we want to, I have made a different client information form over here. I have written a letter to IRCC heading additional contents to my TRV application, and I have said that I am providing these details over here as there was insufficient space available on the IMM 5257 form. So for the people who have done like 1+1 study in Canada and they want to mention all these details, make sure you have this format copied from the form and enter your 1+1 program details over here as the way we did with our PGWP application. And if somebody has done a highest degree outside Canada, also mention that over here. Similarly with the employment history, if you don't have enough space to enter all your employment history on that form, mention it over here. It is always considered best to mention all your details while submitting any application to IRCC. So I'm going to upload that client information form over here. Now all the documents are uploaded. Make sure you have uploaded correct document. Its name also comes over here. If you see IMM 5257 form, that's the file name that you uploaded. So PGWP has a passport with TRV, so everything over here. And if you have uploaded an incorrect document, you can always go and change it from here, update information. After uploading all the documents, scroll down, select next, scroll down once again, check all the documents that you uploaded, and we need to pay $100 fee. If you scroll down, you need to click I agree. Enter your full name on the signature panel. Enter answer to the security questions that is asking over here and click on sign. It will be directed to the page where you have to pay the fee, and after paying that fee, your application will be submitted. After submitting the application, you will get a submission confirmation on your portal. That means your application is submitted, and it will take around a month to process your application. Once IRCC has processed your application, they will send an original passport request letter on the very same portal, and the letter looks like this. So it will have a UCI number over here and it is addressed to you. And to submit a passport, you need to provide these documents. So you need to have a copy of this letter. You need to print it out. There should be a blank page on your passport. Your passport should be valid for the duration of your expected length of stay in Canada, as I have mentioned it earlier in the beginning of the video. And they cannot issue a visa beyond the expiry date of the passport. And print out this letter, and also what to do after you get this passport request and how to submit your passport. So let's jump into that. So for the TRV stamping on our passport, there is only one way to do it, is to mail our passport to them, since we cannot submit our passport in person. And there are two options to send the passport. One is to go through Canada Post, and one is to choose any other courier like FedEx, Purolator, or any other private courier service. If you are going to send your passport through Canada Post, visit a nearby Canada Post in your location, and you need to buy 2 envelopes. So while buying those envelopes, always buy Express Post or Priority Post, as they have a tracking number on them, so that you can track your passport all the time. If you live in Ontario or Quebec, you need to purchase a regional envelopes. But if you live in any other province than Ontario or Quebec, you need to purchase national envelopes. So there are 2 envelope sizes that we need to buy. One is a letter size envelope, that is to send our passport to the IRCC, and one is a standard size envelope, that is to get back our passport to us. So if you are using a courier service, you can go to them and ask them for same size, a letter size and a standard size, and they will assist you with this. So both the envelopes will have a tracking number written down on their back, as you can see on this picture over here. So they have like tracking number over here. So you need to write down those tracking number of both the envelopes so that you can track your passports all the time. So the tracking number on the letter size envelope will track when the office will receive our passport, and the tracking number on the standard size envelope will track when we will get our passport back. So on the standard size envelope, there are 2 sections to write from and to. So in the 2 section, you need to provide your address where you want to get your passport delivered. So remember, on the standard size envelope, in the to section, that's your address, and don't forget to write it down. Write your address on that so that you get your passport back to you. And in the letter size envelope, you need to put your passport, a copy of original passport request letter that I just showed you earlier that has a UCI number or application number, and the standard size envelope or the return envelope. So all these three things, your passport, that passport request letter, and the standard size envelope which has your address on it, in the letter size envelope. And you're gonna put one of these address. If you are using Canada Post, you need to put this address on that, or if you are using any other courier service, you need to put this address on that. So on the letter size envelope, write this address in the to section and write your address on the from section. So when everything is done, you hand this envelope to an employee in that Canada Post, and they will send this envelope to the respective office. And after you send your passport, you will get your passport back within 14 calendar days plus a mailing time. So that depends upon what service that you use. So that was it. After you get a TRV stamped on your passport, you can travel outside Canada and return back to Canada with a valid visa. So today we discussed all the details about how to start a TRV application, how to fill forms, what documents we need, and how to submit our passport for the stamping after our application gets approved. If you have any questions or confusion, please write it down in the comment section. I will respond to that. If you think I helped you a little bit, just give a thumbs up, and also subscribe to our channel for more updates like this and more tips on immigration and your journey in Canada. I will see you in next video. Until then, take care. Goodbye.